Welcome, bienvenidos. My name is Roxana. This is Avid Diva. And today on Lessons in Business, we are going to have a little chat about lessons that I've noticed from the beauty community in recent weeks. Now, this is going to meld both my other channel, my main channel, with this channel in a sense, because we're going to be talking about rumors and gossip and whatnot, but that's not the purpose of this video. I'm just using that to give you like a 30 to 60-second rundown on what I'm talking about, and then I'll explain to you what my thoughts are on this whole thing. Now, I'm not going to get into the who said what and what. I'm just going to give you a very, very streamlined idea of what's going on. So, the beauty community on YouTube is a very thriving, very big community, and some of its bigger stars have millions of subscribers. Now, there was a situation between several of the bigger YouTubers that descended into madness, and everything's in flames right now. But the bottom line is that because of that discrepancy or argument or whatever you want to call it, between bigger YouTubers, pretty much everybody has come out and things have been revealed, for lack of a better word, that have put the spotlight on the influencers as well as the companies. Now, for those of you who either don't wear makeup or don't know, the beauty industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, not in the millions. In fact, I think it's in the trillions, but I'm not entirely sure. If it's not in the trillions, it's very close to it. And so it's very easy for you to create something related to this industry like the influencers have done and create a very lucrative business for yourself. Now that I gave you the rundown, I'm going to give you the specifics of the stuff that has come out recently. Now, one of the issues that has been basically talked to death is the issue of influencers giving reviews of products, whether good reviews or bad reviews, for money. And a lot of people have gotten lost in translation somewhere along the lines of the situation and don't understand the importance of this. The FTC has laws that prohibit you from giving a review without disclosing if you're getting paid for the review or not, which is why sometimes when you watch a particular person, doesn't have to be in the beauty industry, talking about a product, they will say, A, this is a sponsored video, or B, this is not a sponsored video, I purchased this myself. Now, let's keep it clean and let's understand that many people do reviews that are paid of products that they like, okay? But the importance of actually disclosing that it is an advertised or a sponsored review is that you as a consumer can take the review with a grain of salt, or if you are a frequent watcher of this person or a fan, you know if that person really likes the product or not because this is not the first time you've seen it on their channel, okay? So, having said that, the problem comes because, oh, and by the way, before I forget, terms of service on every major platform on social media clearly disclose that if you have an ad or a sponsored video, you have to hashtag ad, hashtag sponsor, and you have to say it on your video. They have, some of them tell you have to say it within the first 30 seconds. There's different rules on what you have to do. But the bottom line is that every single platform has ways of you to disclose whether something is an ad or is just your opinion based on your experience. The problem comes because many of the major influencers are not disclosing when they do one of these things. In fact, there's a big influencer on social media who I'm not going to name by name, but if you follow me, you know exactly who I'm talking about, that actually blame the consumer because it's not her job to tell me, it's my job to find out. How the hell am I going to find out if I don't know what you use and what I don't know you personally? How am I going to know that you are just giving a review for a product and you're getting paid for it? That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard, number one. Number two, at the end of the day, Your credibility is in shambles if you actually do sponsored videos and you don't reveal that they're sponsored videos. Nobody's going to believe you. Now, going back to the last lesson on this channel about the company called Lashify, last night it came out on Twitter that apparently the reviewer that gave the bad review on Lashify had been paid $70,000 for the review. And we're going to get into the dollars and cents in a minute, but I want to make something clear right now. In the case of Lashify, the bad review was actually an incentive for me to find out what Lashify was. So it wasn't a deterrent for me and for a lot of people I know. The deterrent from purchasing or ever purchasing for Lashify was the horrible behavior of the owner of the company. Because according to her, nobody's ever written a book about being professional. Go to the library, girl, because there's tons of books written about how to behave professionally. Not only on social media, but everywhere. So, going back to the story. In her case, it doesn't affect the opinion that I have of her, and it's not going to change what I said on the previous video, because the reality is that she was a horrible person. And her behavior was the reason why she got canceled, so to speak. But that leads us into a second conversation, and it is the amounts of dollars that are being spent on influencers, which is really how they make their money. AdSense gives you a little money, and it's great for what I've always said, to pay the bill, the internet bill, and maybe electricity, and every once in a while buy something for the camera or whatnot. But it's not money. I mean, some people can live on it, don't get me wrong, but most of the people make a lot more with sponsored videos or advertisements. I don't have any problem with them getting paid for this, and I'm going to tell you why. A celebrity that goes and acts in a movie gets paid millions of dollars for wearing something or saying something at an event, and that's one time that you see them. Yes, the paparazzi might have pictures of the person wearing the item, and so the company can use that in their promotion. But the reality is they get paid for doing things once and showing them once. Take an influencer. An influencer that has 1 million subscribers on YouTube is going to put your product in the eyeballs of 1 million people. If they have a high rate of watch time, meaning if they get a lot of views, that in and of itself is a major deal. So the idea that paying $50,000 to an influencer is a horrible idea, but you're okay with a celebrity getting paid $1 million, at least the influencer knows what they're talking about. The celebrity is just wearing whatever or saying whatever. So I don't have a problem, and I know I'm on the unpopular side on this. I don't have a problem with any influencer making money doing, whether it's positive or negative reviews, it doesn't matter to me. Now, do I think negative reviews are ethical? That's a completely different topic. And the short version is no. Now, if you do have a bad experience and somebody finds out about it and they use your bad experience, that's a different story. But in general, for me to give a review, let's say I decide to start doing reviews of things that people my age would use, okay? If I don't like a product, you're going to know. If I like a product, you're going to know. If somebody wants to pay me for my honest opinion, then by all means, my information is on my About page. You can go and get me. But if a person wants me to purposely give a bad review for a product, it's morally unacceptable for me to lie for money. That doesn't mean other people can't do it. What I'm saying is I personally find it morally and ethically, no. I just don't do that kind of thing. However, I will say this. If the person actually displays in their video that this is an ad or a sponsored video, because I already know that information, whatever I choose to do with his video is up to me, because I'm clear on the fact that this is a sponsored video. My problem, and the reason why this has become such an issue, and the reason why I'm bringing it up in this channel, is because most of these influencers, if you go to their social media pages, they don't have a lot of ads and sponsor videos, but they are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And if it was just them, then I would say, yeah, that's possible. But the reality is that they have a team that works with them. And so the team has to make money. So even if they split it 50-50, the only way you have that much money is if you do sponsor videos. To give you an example, an influencer who shall remain nameless made a post, I think it was a video, where she explained how upset she was about these companies talking about how much money the influencers were making, and that it was giving the impression that everybody did this kind of thing and whatnot. And unfortunately for her, a couple days later, a post showed up on Twitter showing exactly how much money she was making for each one of her sponsored content. And the funny thing is that I decided to go to her Instagram to see if she had actually placed the hashtag ad or hashtag sponsored on any of her pictures. Now, she is a whiz with photography, very good photography work. And for what I understand, she does her own photography. The problem that I had was that they all looked very editorial, but only one of them out of the 10 pictures that I picked at random because they look so beautiful, only one of them said ad or sponsored in it. The other 9 had, and she had posted what she was wearing and what company and all this other stuff, but none of them said ad. So you're trying to make me believe that you do all this crazy stuff to get this editorial work done. And by the way, some people do, so I'm not knocking it necessarily. But once we saw the numbers for what she gets paid and whatnot, it's a little harder to believe that all 10 of those were not sponsored. And I'm not saying all of them were sponsored, maybe a couple of them were. But it did make me doubt up to a point, especially because of the energy on the video. It sounded like she was trying to defend herself, and she was not even mentioned on the video she was talking about the company talking about the influencers. Another example that I can give you is recently there was a video made about a person that felt like they had been wronged by one of the companies that has decided to speak out. But the reality is, and I'm just talking from a business perspective, I'm not talking from whether it's ethical or moral or whatever. From a business standpoint, if you sign a contract or you agree to something and they pay you and then they keep using that, whatever product you created forever, you chose to accept that payment. So you can decide to do something now, but 2 years after the fact is when you complain. Any court of law is going to find that suspect. So, and the reason why I bring all this up is because at the end of the day, these people have a right to get paid for their content. But we as viewers have a right to know whether this content is sponsored or not. That is point number 1. Point number 2 is the issue of management. Now, a lot of these larger influencers have management companies that have basically taken over their lives. And they decide how many posts they make, how they make them, etc. Now, I don't have, obviously, I'm not a big YouTuber. But I have always said that I'm old enough that I don't need somebody telling me what to do. I decided to do YouTube for fun. Then it became a quest to see if I could make a little money so I could help with the bills here because of my medical condition. And the reality is that now, if I ever decided to take a sponsorship or make money, make this a money-making venture, the reality is that I would never allow somebody that's not already in my life to take over my channels. I decide what goes on my channels. I decide how many times I post. I decide who I like and I don't like. I have no intention of taking money for dissing somebody else. And at the end of the day, it feels, and I might be wrong, but it feels like the management companies take the whole point of having a YouTube channel out of the hands of the YouTuber. And what I mean by that is it feels like they take something that was fun and it started making money and turn it into, you're my property now and you do whatever I tell you to do and we both make money. And that takes a lot of the energy of creativity out of the project. And that's why I've always said, thank you. But I'm nowhere near there, by the way. I don't think I'll ever have anybody coming to tell me that they're going to manage my account. And by the way, I want to make a distinction between a management company that's managing you because you are the product versus a managing company that calls on you because you have a business and they want to help you manage your social media. It's two different animals. A company that handles your social media is going to look at your company and decide, okay, you need to post about this, or you need to go to this medium or this platform or whatever, and help you set up a plan so that you always have content running. You always answer questions from your customers or your prospects and whatnot. The management company that I'm talking about is more of a talent management situation where they help you decide where you're going to post, how you're going to post, where you're going to show up, what events you're going to sign up for. And I have yet to hear a story where a person tells me, yes, this company manages me and I do whatever I want. I have not. And so that's why I feel the way I do about that. But no, as far as managing your social media is a completely different animal. If you're a business and you're not being managed as a talent, if that makes sense. And so those are the points that I wanted to bring up today. I think even though social media might be for entertainment, sometimes you can learn a lot by watching what's going on social media because, as I always say, social media is a microcosm of real life. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and have a wonderful day.